So did Code Pink's humanitarian festival cause a blackout in Havana, Cuba? So basically they had I guess like a music festival. So basically this is like, it's kind of like, it seems like this event was kind of like Burning Man for like communists, right? It was like communist Burning Man. And so they all went to, but the only people burning up apparently are the ones in the hospital. And because they shut down the power. And that's what's happened. And it's a good analogy. Let's make a person a dog and a person named Iran. Giving dogs in a way. Oh, I mean, with Iran, that's something totally different. Yeah, it's the Fire Festival. Exactly. So let's watch this. Ooh. Oh, look at them all. Wow. Wow. Man. Man. How about that? Oh. That's crazy. So this is the same woman here. We're in Havana. We have landed our solidarity of humanitarian aid to the U.S. blockade, trying to suffocate the Cuban people into submission. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it.
We're here in the Havana Jose Marti Airport. This is just one part of the donations that we brought. There's 6,500 pounds donations.
Wow.
The value is about $500,000. It's a drop in the bucket for what Cuba needs, but it's a show of our solidarity with the people of Cuba and our opposition to what Trump is doing to try to strangle the Cuban people.
Resist.
Cuba sí bloqueo no. Cuba sí bloqueo no. Cuba sí bloqueo no.
See, this is more logic and morality inversion, where they end up siding with the country that, like, why is it that Cuba has political prisoners? Why is it that Cuba kills journalists and they kill people that are oppositional to their government? Like, I'm sorry, but like the moment that I see somebody running defense for a government that kills its own people for, you know, like basically disagreeing with them, that's the moment that I stop. Like, you should never listen to the morality of a person like that, because everything that they're going to say is going to be retarded. Everything is going to be retarded. There's no consistency. There's no reasoning. There's nothing. It is pure, like, emotion-driven reasoning. Why does she look like a Dr. Seuss character? She looks like the Lorax. Young people in Cuba, yeah, zero logic. Yeah, there's no reasoning for it. They lack the comprehension of actual morality. And so, yeah, Palmer Luckey. Seems a little weird to chant, "This is what democracy looks like," in the streets of an authoritarian country that explicitly bans all political parties outside the Communist Party of Cuba. It's really sad. It's genuinely sad to see these people do this. And honestly, I hate to say this, but I do hope that one of the times that they go out and they go on one of these virtue signal things, I hope that the government there just takes all of them and puts them in a camp. I do. I hope that's what happens. That's what they deserve, because they're running defense. And I do really mean that, by the way. Here's the reason why. These people are running defense for a regime, an administration, a occupation of the government that kills people by the thousands. Their own government kills their own people. There is nothing that could be more poetically just than for them to face those same consequences, for them to be put in those political work camps, for them to be sent to the re-education camps, for them to be the ones that gets put in jail and then, you know, indefinitely held there forever. That's what should fucking happen to them. And I hope one day it does. And eventually, I honestly, like, if I was Trump, I'd pay him to do it. I would. I'd say, listen, all right, here it is. So these people are going to come on over there. Why don't we, all right, you want the sanctions lifted? Next time a bunch of our weird cringe protesters come over there, arrest all of them and put them in a work camp. We'll get rid of your sanctions, right? You kill two birds with one stone. Cubans 100% agree? Yeah, I know. And don't let them back in? Maybe you're right. And so if I were Trump, I'd say keep them there. Yeah, I'd just keep them there. And that's it. I hate these people. And the reason why is that they're the ones that, here's the big problem, is that they create a environment where this type of behavior is enabled. They create an environment where it's allowed and people accept it. And I think that's what makes it so toxic and bad, is that they're the ones that are enabling all of this. They're the ones that are pushing all of that. So people have lights. The rest of Cuba does not. Yeah, the new CCOT for lefties. I like that. They're politically motivated. They are. And hate isn't a strong enough word. You're right. I agree with you, honestly. So anyway, let's go back. I'll look at that later on. But first thing, I'll focus on this too. Breaking footage from outside the hotel in Cuba where communist flotilla, Pablo, okay, this Code Pink. This is also Hassan, apparently, is there. So the entire island, this is what happened last night. This is actually probably the worst optics that one of these events has ever had. So let me explain what happened. So last night, or somewhere around there, Cuba's electrical grid went basically offline. And one of the only places that still had electricity was the tourist 5-star hotel that all of these Americans and Westerners are staying at while they can cosplay as being communist revolutionaries in Cuba. I'm not even kidding you. You're going to see the videos, and the entire other fucking rest of the country is blacked out, but there's like that one light on the hill, and that's the light that they're all staying at. It's crazy. Here we go. Watch this. Look, I don't know how many of these videos, it's like Resident Evil, bro. Everybody's gone, all the lights are off. Crash out? Yeah, look at this. So this is the place, obviously everybody's doing just fine here. I'm assuming this is the hotel. Look how good they look. Oh, wow. Wow, everything's lit up. It's so great, isn't it? Oh, boy. Useful idiots? Yeah, I know. Isn't it sad? Mm-hmm. Does Han blame Israel for this? Well, yeah, of course he did. I mean, Israel, why would Israel do this? Audio's broken? I don't think the audio's broken. I'm pretty sure it's not. It is broken. Okay. I need to stop opening it on other pages. I think that's what really fucks it. I mean, it's not really nothing happening, right? But yeah, look at all this. So then you walk outside of the safe zone, right? You walk outside of the safe zone, and now you're in the wild. You've just regressed 1,000 years in technology. Power's out? Yep. Oh my god. Where's all the lights? What happened to the lights, guys? That's crazy. There's nothing on at all. Need to craft a torch? I guess so. Yeah, you exited the capitalism zone. You've entered into socialism and communism here. Here we go. Wow. Wow. This is Cuba right now. Is that what happens in Dying Light? Yeah, it's like a horror game, exactly. It is. Oh my god. That's crazy, yeah. Dying light? Well, it is literally a dying light. I mean, so what happened is that, obviously, you know, here we go. Angry man goes to a hotel where Code Pink communists are staying in Cuba. They get to enjoy electricity thanks to a generator, but 99% of Cubans are without electricity after tonight's nationwide blackout. Okay, let's take a look at it, guys. Here we go. See that? Wow, what a nice place. And everywhere else is pitch fucking black. Oh my god. Jesus! Look at that! Oh my god! People are calling it the Abyss. That's advanced darkness, it is. Priorities in a nutshell. Yep, there you go, guys. And so the optics are brutal. There's no way they thought this was a good idea. And here's another image of it. I have a friend in Cuba that just notified me that every patient in the hospital that was on a ventilator died tonight. Well, I don't know about every single one, right? It's hard to say, but it does look like that probably happened. So this basically caused a huge power outage, and this is again, like, and think about how sad that is. My mom was on a ventilator, you know, like what the fuck? Like even my dad was for a period of time. Like to just, you know, imagine somebody sitting there in a hospital bed just, you know, dying just because the power's out. It's just that's horrible. What a terrible way to die. And not to mention just how sad it is. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's horrible to see something like that happen. Thinking of the there's something supremely saddening and enraging seeing a hospital running on a bare minimum power, thinking about dialysis patients, babies in the NCIU, and others tonight in Cuba. This is a blockade of death. Of course, right? And that's it. And so you've got the entire area is out of power except for, obviously, look at this. All these people are so happy. Wow. Hospitals will have generators even if they died. You can manually ventilate patients with a bag. They won't all die. Oh, they won't all die? That's great. Yep, and so this is it. The Cuban communist dictatorship had to cut off power to impoverish peasants so Kneecap could conduct a humanitarian performance. It's just embarrassing, man. It really is. How can America do this to me? I know, man. And went to Cuba to fight, only for them to kill a few hospitalized Cuban patients. Well, it's hard to know whether or not this is actually related or not, but it seems like it probably is. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me focus on this first. And but yeah, the optics on it, obviously, it looks terrible, right? It looks absolutely horrible to see something like this happen. And where did it go? Oh, here we go. Irish band Kneecap consume electricity and perform a concert for Code Pink and liberal activists in Cuba, while Cubans face constant electricity blackouts. Man. Man. That's too bad, huh? So they're going around. Is this really the USA's fault on this, though? Of course, everything is the United States' fault. The United States are the ones that have caused all this bad stuff to happen. And if they just let Cuba do what they want, then everything would be amazing. But for some reason, that they won't do that because they don't want it. They don't want the world to see how great Cuba is. And Kneecap and Bob Villain need to be executed publicly for treason. Well, I don't know about that, but you know, I could see them. You know, like I don't know. Like I mean, that's a bit much, but like I do know a lot of people hate him, right? I think it's pretty obvious. All the patients on ventilators in Cuban hospitals died after band Kneecap used massive amounts of electricity during humanitarian performance for fellow communists, while the performers and activists stayed in a 5-star hotel with power. And it's just really fucking sad to see. And let me scroll back down and find the other ones too. And people said that Hassan broke the law, by the way. Like, I don't really know exactly why this is, but I'll go and look at it. So this is the government policy. He says that the government policy is that the government makes it illegal for us to stay where we want in Cuba. We have to stay in 5-star hotels. He has to be in a 5-star hotel, guys. It's not an option. It's just mandatory. So, by the way, Hassan just broke the U.S. law, and he could face a $250,000 fine, 10 years in prison once he gets back. The U.S. Department of State maintains Cuba prohibited accommodations list, which bans American travelers from staying at or paying for over 400 government-owned hotels, guest houses, or resorts. Well, I don't know. I kind of assumed he wasn't staying at one of the ones that was prohibited, but who knows? I guess we're going to have to find out. So, man, it's not good. Can you imagine if he gets arrested for this? That's going to be insane. And, oh, here we go. Is there...
The Irish people were called terrorists for so long.
Oh, here we go. So let's watch this.
The Irish people were called terrorists for so long.
Yeah.
Cubans were called terrorists.
I can't remember the last time Cuba invaded a country. I don't know. Have you invaded any countries, Cuba?
Yeah.
No. I think that sums it up.
The U.S. administration and Trump is forcing a blockade.
Yeah.
And, it's starving the country of the necessities it needs to thrive. You know, like the Cuban people are able to run their own affairs, and they have been doing for so long.
And it's quite inspirational to see after so many years of like blockades and like America weaponizing resources and weaponizing fuel and food and whatever else, to see the Cuban people still have, you know, spirit and strength. So it's quite inspirational to see that here.
Average European, yes,
it's
of
very
course.
easy to label someone a terrorist because then you can treat them differently, and you can.
It's actually really easy to figure out whether somebody's a terrorist or not. Are you targeting and killing innocent civilians to achieve a political goal? If the answer is yes, then you're a terrorist. It's actually super simple. Are you trying to inflict a large amount of civilian and non-combatant casualties in order to achieve a political goal? Okay, well then there you go.
Try and make the world treat them differently, and you see that in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
So we know the importance of showing solidarity because they want to isolate all these countries and make them feel like that they have no support by themselves.
America does? No, they don't. I mean, you're talking about Hamas. I mean, why does America not have political prisoners, but Cuba does? Well, there you go. I mean, it's pretty easy to see which one's wrong.
And then when that happens, then that's when the imperialism takes over.
I mean, you have a bunch of third worlders and third world advocates that think that it's an equivalent lifestyle to have a government that's going around killing their own people and starving them in order to achieve political goals. That's the reason why.
So I think making people known and making people seen is very important.
Cubans and IRS terrorists? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. It's very, very clear that most of the Cubans are probably just trying to survive, right? But like, it's the government that are the problem. By your definition, terrorists and U.S. is terrorists to Cuba. Again, like, I understand you want to try this morality inversion, but that's not really going to work with me. Cuba is a communist country. They don't allow any sort of political opposition. They allow drugs to come into our country. They are a threat in that way as well. Whenever we fought Maduro and we were trying to capture Maduro, the people that were killed guarding Maduro were Cubans. This is the big problem, right? And so if you don't want us to do something like that, then don't go and do things that put us in a bad position. And that's what they've done. All they would have to do is just give in to whatever President Trump's demands are. But they don't want to do that. So now this is what happens.
It's a systematic problem here, so we need to put pressure on local politicians to actually look at the real issue here. Because you can bring aid to as many countries as possible, as much aid as you want, but if you don't change the systematic structure,
which is the government,
the structures of that country and the blockade, then nothing's going to change. So we need to put pressure.
They performed a forced abortion on a woman who is a political prisoner for protesting. Well, yeah, it's because they're evil. I mean, like, it's really simple why they're doing it. Like, the thing is that, and this is one of the big issues, is that people have no problem dissecting and looking at every bad thing that America has done, and America has done bad things. But the reality is that whenever you compare the amount of bad things and like the how bad it is over here versus there, it's not even close. It's not even in the same universe. And so anybody who is shifted, and also here's the real reason and the real way that you know this isn't true. There are a lot of socialist shitholes that are in the world right now. There are many of them. They're in South America. Some of them are in East Asia, etc. None of these people are living in those shitholes. They live in their nice, comfortable, capitalist, Western culture societies, and then they come over and cosplay like revolutionaries. That's what they do. It's because they don't actually believe any of this. The sanctions didn't block Cuba from trade with the rest of the world. Why does the USA have to supply them with everything? Well, I have no idea what the sanctions are. I have no clue.
On politicians.
You don't see Cuba, or you don't see Palestine, or you don't see Iran bombing and attacking hospitals and schools. And
you don't see Iran bombing and Palestine bombing and attacking hospitals and schools, really?
You have to realize that these things don't happen by people who are trying to save you, or people who are trying to bring freedom to your country. You know what I mean? Freedom at the end of a bomb doesn't work.
As soon as people can see the real truth, what's happening here, that Cuba will be a prosperous country.
I just wish that we could send these people to Iran. I do. I think it would be a great use of our tax money to send these people to the countries that they want to defend, and then take away their passports and keep them there. Yep, there it is. All right, you think it's so great? Now you live here.
Country. If you look around here, it's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been. So we hope soon that this will all come to an end and Cubans can live the way they should be living, free and happy.
Yeah. And the international community standing with you in solidarity. The Irish people are standing in solidarity with you, and hopefully very soon all this madness will come to an end.
It's time for the international community, I think, to give that support back the way the Cubans have for a long time, helped countries in Africa or in wherever they were, whatever crisis, and send doctors out. So I think it's our turn now to return the favour.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. Communist, Irish, and Scottish? Yes, clearly. And, yeah, what an echo chamber. It's so fucking embarrassing, isn't it? Oh my fucking god. And, what a bunch of retards. Seeing dumb uninformed people get like this get screen time reminds me of the dumb fuck Billie Eilish on stage about the land. Oh, no, yeah. No land is stolen. Yeah, nothing is stolen on stolen land or something like that. No one is illegal on stolen land. That's what it was. Cuba actually invaded Israel in 1973. There were Cuban tank units fighting in the Golan Heights. At least 180 Cuban soldiers were killed and 250 wounded. Again, like they will never, these people called the Nova Festival partying beside a concentration camp have no sense of irony. Well, now they're partying inside of the concentration camp, so it makes it even better. So let's take a look at this one. Is this the same one? Yeah, we saw this one before. Here we go. Wow. Man. Whole place is blacked out. Minus like three street lamps. Do you really think they think they're the good guys? I think that they do. I think they do think that.
Y ese es el hotel. El Gran Bristol. Alumbradito.
Man. Communism hasn't worked. Why do they think Cuba's communism worked? It's because they're stupid. They're stupid, and that's really all there is to it. Like, you could say, like, oh, it's 50 other reasons, but no, that's really the reason why. They're dumb. Oh, here we go. This is it. This is the boat trip, right? Foreign leftists in Cuba saying that they're in the same boat as the Cuban people. Yeah, guys, like, that's what I'm saying, bro. This shit sucks, man. Like, damn. Like, I hate imperialism. I hate the West. This stuff's, man, this is awful. You believe that? Yeah, we're in the same boat, guys. If you successful business, you should give it to the government. I don't know what they do like that over in Cuba. I have no idea. Watching a pro-Palestine wearing t-shirt saying defend the right to protest with an Iranian regime supporter holding a placard of Ayatollah Khamenei who murdered thousands of protesters. This is, I think that people are starting to realize that this entire movement of these people are just full of a bunch of pathological narcissists. That's it. There's no actual value inside of any of this. Isn't it obnoxious? Oh my God. Jesus. Choose the right side of history. And it's a picture of Khamenei. Oh, God. Islamic Human Rights Commission. What about the rights of the people that they killed? Like, how can you be a human rights commission and you're holding up a sign of a guy that presided over a government that systematically killed tens of thousands of its own people? Oh, my God. It just, and how does anybody buy in? This is just unbelievable, man. I don't know what to say. Jesus Christ. These people are crazy. Well, again, it's all about doing what's going to make them feel morally superior. I think that's what it's all about. And also, I saw this. I don't know if it's true. Hassan Piker's glasses were $1,400. It would take the average Cuban 9 years to purchase his glasses. I mean, maybe this isn't true. Maybe it's a knockoff brand or something. But like, oh man, that's really bad. It is. That's a little fucking embarrassing, isn't it? And where's the protest happening? I don't know. They're oppressed by the freedom that we give them. I guess so. Well, actually, that's true. Our youth are being radicalized in college and indoctrinated thanks in part to foreign funds from places like Qatar. Well, it's all over the world, right? I mean, that's yeah, you travel first class, you stay in a luxury hotel, enjoy an imperial breakfast with views of the Congress of Cuba while Cubans are starving to death. You have to have some nerve. And these are actual Cubans talking about it, right? Hassan says Cubans like not having. This is not true.
It's incredible. It's truly one of my favorite places officially. I totally understand why Will was saying that about Cuba. It's remarkable. The people's resilience is remarkable. There's like rolling blackouts that take place throughout the day, every day, all around the country, right? 11 million people. But today is a beautiful day out here. It's like 75 degrees, sunny. People are partying. People are partying in the fucking streets. I don't know if it's like an island mindset. I don't know if it's like...
Are you really trying to run defense for the fact that they can't keep the power on? You're really trying to reframe the fact that they can't keep the power on as like some kind of like fucking resilience of like imperialism? This is the most embarrassing shit, bro. Like, and also like he's sitting... By the way, is he out there in the street? Is his power getting cut off? Absolutely not. No, he's there with his high-speed internet, with his huge streaming setup, and in his nice hotel room, in his air conditioning room. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that has something to do with it. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but like, they're just chilling. Yeah. Like, it's incredible. It's truly one of my favorite places officially. I totally understand why Will was saying that about...
It's just sad, and it's just as yours. At least he's doing something. He's talking shit, making fun of others. Well, what do you want? Like, I feel like the thing is that, so I think that what I do does improve the world. I think it does. I view this group of people. I view this group of people. You just burnt through the Cuban people's electricity for the week for that painful, deafening slop. There you go. And so I do think that I'm advocating for something that's good. I think that I'm making the world a better place. Now, am I a perfect person? No, absolutely not. But I do think so. And I don't think that I need to leave my house to do that. I don't want to. I don't like leaving my house. But, you know, I like sitting here and I like, you know, advocating for and talking about things that I think are important. And that's it. You think Hassan believes what he says? Yeah, I mean, I think to an extent. But most people don't actually believe what they say because they don't live the way that they say. And this is the big, I think this is the very, very big test, is that would a person do what they're doing now if they had the option to do something that would be better? And if the answer is yes, then they don't really believe it. They don't actually believe this. They don't really believe it. Now, I mean, it's an idea, and it sounds good, but it's not something that they would actually do. And that's it. And so, like, you know, for example, many people, whenever they say, like, oh, well, you know, like, I'm a humble person and everything, whenever they get a bunch of money, well, they want to spend all the money. They want people to know that they have a lot of money. They want to be seen as a rich person. And so, again, all you have to do is you just look at what people do whenever they have the opportunity to do what is more luxurious, more beneficial for their ego, easier, etc. And so I've raided with dozens of Cubans living in Cuba. You know what you can do? Invite Cubans into Discord to share their experiences with the government, break the left's narrative. Well, they'll just say that they're all paid or something like that. And I don't want to have anybody identify themselves in a way that, you know, could put them at risk. But yeah, they talk the talk, but can't walk the walk. Yeah, exactly. These people have no problem talking the talk, but they will never actually act in this way. That's not advantageous to them immediately. So that's it.
So we're on the plane now, getting ready to go to Havana, Cuba.
He's going to Cuba, and I hope the
nation has to go.
These people do not give a shit about the Cubans. There have been medicine shortages in Cuba for decades now. Jesus. And I had not seen this woman making videos saying she's going to Cuba, and I help the Cuban people. Only when Donald Trump starts talking about the communist regime in Cuba.
Well, it's because people lost interest with them talking about ICE. And then before ICE, people lost interest with them talking about Palestine. And before Palestine, people lost interest with them talking about how Donald Trump is X, Y, or Z. The reason why they're doing this is for attention.
But in doing something about it, do these activists want to go stand with the Cuban people? If you're in Cuba and you're watching this, they do not care about you. They only care about opposing Donald Trump.
That's right.
And since Donald Trump is working to remove the communist regime that has plagued that island, now they care about the Cuban people and they want to stand in solidarity with them. These are the type of idiots that will run our country if we let them. This is why it's important to register to vote and make sure you get out to vote. Because these people can vote and they do vote. And they will put...
That's what we got to fix that. We got to fix that. We got to do something about that.
Idiots in office who represent the things they want done. I want you to really think about this. Think about how stupid this is. In Cuba, they have chronic food shortages, frequent power outages, extremely low wages. Many people depend on remittances. They have limited access
Why do they not care about the 30,000 people dying in Iran? Because caring about that would be aligning themselves with an Israeli or American perspective. So they have no problem letting a bunch of people die if it's inconvenient for their worldview.
Internet and censorship. Also, internet is expensive, so a lot of people use like public hotspots. There are restrictions on free speech. Criticizing the government there is not in your best interest. So
not in your best interest. I wonder what he mean by that.
Essentially what this woman is saying is,
it's a mystery.
Hey, Cuban people, we're going to come help you and stand in solidarity because Trump is working to get rid of the communist regime that has been oppressing your island for decades. And we want him to stop what he's doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come give you a little bit of medicine and pat ourselves on the back and make ourselves feel good. Then we're going to go back to the United States where we live comfortably and have everything we need. And then we're going to hope that Trump leaves you alone so you can continue to be oppressed and struggle. So you can continue to deal with freedom.
And there is nothing that would be worse for them than for the communist government to fall and for Cuba to be successful, because that would poke a hole in their worldview. So you have to keep that in mind too. It's in their best interest for Cuba to remain an open-air prison. They want it to be like that.
On power outages, low wages, chronic food shortages, we don't really care about helping you.
Yes.
We just care about opposing Donald Trump, and you're the next thing that he's talking about, so we're going to act like we care about you.
Yes.
And in reality, in our opposition, we're fighting to make sure you stay in the same shitty position because we're virtuous and moral. Love you, Cubans. These people are insufferable idiots. They will actively make the world a worse place if we let them. And they'll do it while patting themselves on the back, calling themselves virtuous. These people are...
That's what's so annoying about it, right? Do you think that's hypocritical? As someone reminds his chat multiple times a day, single day, they can give money simultaneously saying how hard it is. Everybody's financially struggling in America. Well, here's the way I see it, right? Is that like I've had a number of opportunities in my life that have generated a large amount of money for me. And I also work all the time, and I plan on continuing to work all the time. Like, I don't plan on retiring next year. I don't plan on retiring in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. So if I'm already successful and I'm doing really well now, and I live a relatively simple and humble life, then why do I really need to? And by the way, if I ever got married and started a family or something like that, I'd buy a nice expensive house next to a good school area, and I'd do that for my family and my kids. Now, for me, I have no problem living in the shed, but, you know, for somebody else, I will make the decision that's in their best interest. This is always what I'll do.